Welcome back to Sloth Talks. I'm Lyndon Dixon, joined today by Denzel Bentley. Denzel, how are you, mate?
I'm all good, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. On the Beterbiev yard card, Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury was announced, and whether you rate them or not, it's a big fight. People are going to be watching. I know I'm going to be watching just to see what happens. But if your money's on it, who have you got? Because I don't know at this point.
I don't know. I wouldn't put money on it. It's a big event. It's a big spectacle. Like it's a big event. To say big fight with two guys that are pretty much novices and ain't really boxed
Mm.
anyone of any sort apart from themselves. To say big fight is a bit mad, but it's
Yeah,
a big spectacle. It's a massive event, and I give it to them for that. You know what I'm saying? They got fans outside of boxing and other avenues, which is bringing onto their fight and boxing. But I wouldn't put money on either of them. I'd like to know what happens. Whether I want to watch it or not is another story. But
mm.
I'll be honest with you, man. It's just one of those things. It's another YouTube fight. I'd look up for the results. I'd watch the highlights, but
Yeah,
I don't know what time it's coming on. If it's coming on after hours, I'm definitely not staying up. If I'm busy, I'm not going out my way. But if I'm at home, I might flick on see something. Depends on the undercard as well. But
yeah.
look, it's good for them. It's good for them. They're making loads of money. I'm not against anyone making money. Go get your money, bro. But
Mm.
um, yeah, it's a big event, big spectacle, whatever. It's good for both the Fury and the Paul family. Is good for what they're doing, and yeah, man. Hopefully they just make as much money as they can.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's such a big spectacle. I feel like individually, just there's so much riding on it for each of them. Like, what happens to the loser? Because there's if Tommy Fury
That's the thing.
loses
That's
to
another
a
thing as well.
YouTuber,
Like
what
it's
happens?
yeah, it's a big event in the sense of what happens as well. It's like because I think Fury's gonna go in there thinking, I can't let this YouTuber beat me. I'm gonna beat up this guy and put YouTube boxing out of business. Cool, perfect. Jake Paul's thinking, this is my chance to actually beat a real boxer and be respected as a boxer and actually, let people believe I'm actually a boxer. I'm not just a YouTuber no more. So they both got something to prove out of it, which might make it a bit more interesting, which might make them both fight harder, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
So yeah, I think for the level they're at, it'll be a good fight. And I think they're pretty much at the same level. And no matter the level, if you get two guys at the same level, it's always going to be a decent scrap. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? So,
Yeah, but for Fury himself, I
so it
mean,
won't be bad.
he's got. He's. I just said Fury, like he's Tyson Fury's brother. Like, if he does lose to Jake Paul, is that it for him in boxing? Does he just stick to the social media stuff? Is he out of the boxing game
Yeah, most
if he
definitely,
loses?
most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. Because if you lose to someone like Jake Paul, what kind of titles are you gonna compete for? Like
Mm.
the Southern area champions at light heavyweight
Yeah.
are good champions. You know what I mean? They're good fighters. English champions are good fighters. The British champions, good fighters, or
Yeah.
people competing at that level. So if you're losing to Jake Paul, who's never boxed at that level, or never boxed a 10 round, 12 round fight, or never really boxed a boxer, he's boxed fighters, but not actual boxers.
Mm.
You can't, think you can compete against guys that live and breathe this day in, day out, and really, striving for this. So
Mm.
yeah, you can't lose to Jake Paul and think you can continue boxing. If I'm being honest with you.
Before we get into it properly about yourself, just the other weekend you was on BT for the fight. Yard Beterbiev Yard. What a fight that was, mate.
Yeah, crazy fight, man. I enjoyed every second of it.
What was it like to be on coverage for that? Because obviously you're close to Anthony, but talk us through the fight itself. Like, what did you think to it? Because me being at home, just as a viewer and a fan, it was a great fight.
Yeah, man. Edge of your seat stuff. There was
Mm.
a point in there where I thought Ant was going to do it. I was like, this is it. Like, I think in the fifth round as well, he hit him with a serious right hand. And I thought he's going to do him. He's going to knock him out. But he didn't get the win in the end. But he put on a great fight. But Turbo was just a little bit too smart.
Mm. Do you think that after that, Beterbiev's the best in the light heavyweight division? I mean, I know you've got Bivol and Callum Smith and Buatsi and people like that. But after that, like the way, like you said, the way he took what Yard gave him, is he the best in the division right now?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is. It's a toss up between him and Bivol. Obviously, they're the two champions. Um, Beterbiev has beat more champions, hence why he's got most of the belts. So, you got to go Beterbiev. But Bivol's a good fighter as well, man. I think Bivol's the only person that can beat him. He's the only person that can beat him, if I'm being honest.
You're close to Yard. what's next for him? Because I know Callum Smith's just had his fight announced, and a lot of people ain't happy with that, like his opponent. But what is next for Yard? Because there's so much. There is the domestic scene going for Bivol, going for more. What's next for him?
I don't know. It's hard to say, man. I think he just needs to just rest up and recover as much as he can before putting him into a, another dangerous fight. I think that was a tough, grueling fight that probably, would have, I wouldn't say miles on the clock, but would have taxed his body a bit. He probably just needs to recover and then get back in the gym and then think about, what he wants to do next. But in terms of big fights, they don't necessarily need to be next, but big fights in the division. Callum Smith is there. There's fights with him and Watson's obviously a blockbuster. That's a big fight. I think that's a world title fight, if I'm being honest. I think, if one of them win a world title, if both of them win a world title, that's a big, domestic clash, for a world title. You know what I mean? You don't want to waste that fight. It's a great fight. Of course, Dan Aziz is coming through. Dan Aziz is my guy as well. I don't really like putting my guys together fighting and stuff, but they're all in the same division and they're all willing to fight each other. That's another big, domestic dust up that could happen down the line. I think they're probably thinking Yard's probably thinking he's at that world level. So Dan will probably need to win that European and then go up to world level, compete at world level, and then the fight will be more realistic in obviously their eyes. So, or each other's eyes even, do you know what I mean? They're gonna, they're gonna get paid well and, get something out of it. But yeah, like I said, Callum Smith, there's loads of names. I'm just thinking domestically at the moment, but if you go, outside of the domestic scene, you got guys like Marcus Brown, you got Joe Smith Jr. So those are great fights, like tough guys. You got Alvarez that beat Kovalev and then lost in the rematch. There's loads of guys. There's loads of good fights for him out there. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of fights. It ain't just got to be domestic. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
But moving on to yourself, mate, in April, you've got a defence of that British belt of yours. Are you looking forward to fighting on home soil again, being back home?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. It would be good to get. To be honest, I had a crowd out in Vegas anyway, so that was good. But just to be in home soil, just be a little bit more comfortable, just be at home, box, get the UK back behind me and stuff. Obviously, they all want to see me back from, my performance at Vegas. So hopefully I can put on a show at home in April.
Well, you lost out in Vegas to Janabek, a top guy. Like, there's nothing bad about that. But what do you think went wrong for you on the night?
Probably didn't start early enough. But if I'm being honest, based on the scorecards and stuff, if I did, I probably wouldn't have got a decision anyway. So then that's not a reason to not look at what I done wrong. But yeah, I think I could have started earlier, maybe 2 rounds earlier, because I think down the stretch the fight was close. A lot of the middle rounds were toss up rounds, but the top round obviously he took as well. I think I needed to finish strong as well, and he finished stronger than I did. So yeah.
But that's the thing, you've had a taste of that world level now. Like, after this defence in April, how eager are you to get back to that world level? Because that's where you belong.
I'm eager now. It's not even about after. I'm eager now, but it's about going through the necessary steps, to get back there. So I've got to do what's necessary, and this is one of the necessary steps. So I got to go through. The steps. I got to go through what I need to go through to get back there. So that's what I'm going to do.
But that defence in April is against Kieran Smith. I'm not sure if you've been able to see much of him, but from what you have seen, what do you think to him?
Yeah, good fire, tall, southpaw. You know what I'm saying, rangy. So probably be a bit awkward, but part of the game, you get different styles of opponents, so just got to try and conquer that stuff.
Yeah. But providing you get that win in April, what is next for you? Because there's still plenty left of the year. What do you want to try and achieve by the end of the year for yourself?
I'd like minimum 2 more fights. 2 more fights before the end of the year after this one. I'd like to get back to world level. I'd like to compete against one of the world champions or near enough, or an eliminator or a fringe world level opponent. But either way, wherever I do after this fight will be a step forward. So, I trust my team to make decisions, and they know what I would like, and they got my best interests at heart. So I kind of trust them to do what they're doing. So I'm not really too fussed about making decisions myself.
The last one from me. It's been a pleasure speaking to you so far, but we touched on it a bit earlier. It's only the start of the year. What has Denzel Bentley done to come the end of 2023?
Mm. Um, I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna get myself in position to fight for another world title
Mm,
by 2024.
mm. I love that one, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. I've been Lyndon Dixon. He's been Denzel Bentley, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, bro.